from now through till 10 a.m. Please make sure that you buckle up because it's going to be served hot. Be my guest. But let me start by motivating you. Our quote of the day is by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who says, "Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year." So every day of your life. Today is Monday the 14th. Write it down in your heart. Even if you have a pen somewhere and a little jota or anything, a piece of paper, write it down. Today is going to be the best day of the year. Let me teach you how to properly speak English.
Today's word is R-U-M-I-N-A-T-E. Ruminate. It's a verb. Ruminate means to think deeply about something for a long time. Let's exemplify it. Ron ruminated for days whether or not to accept the role. Ruminate.
So if there's something you want to do, just do it. Don't sit around and ruminate about it. It is not important about thinking it. The critical thing is doing it. So stop ruminating about the things you want to achieve, about the steps you want to take. Just take the bold step. You never know. Fortune favors the bold. It's now time for Inside Out. On Inside Out this morning, we talk about an issue that bothers on all of us, our national security. Up north in Bawku is boiling again. 2 police officers were gunned down by unknown assailants. The police say they were robbers who gunned down these police officers. But is that the true situation on the ground? Is that a real picture on the ground? Were these 2 police officers shot by robbers? Let's get the facts right and before we tell people the real situation. Because from some quarters, they say these police officers were attacked by residents of Binduri. And the police is also saying that these police officers were attacked by robbers. The situation in Bawku has been raging for a while now. These are the police officers. Unfortunately, with Ghana, when somebody dies, the person's family sees their dead body on social media, even before the family is officially informed. Pictures of these police officers were flying around. Pictures of their bodies, gunned bodies, were flying around before even the police hierarchy could go to the families and inform them of the death of these persons. These are security officers. Not too long ago, we heard that a soldier was shot dead in the same Bawku situation. Soldiers retaliated. It became a gun battle in Bawku. Series of attacks after that. The IGP went to the area. Now, the IGP, in trying to address the situation, says that the youth of this area, lay down your tools and will give you priority when it comes to enlistment. Is that the way to go? Let's hear the IGP.
The people of Sierra Leone and the people of Cambodia, the people of Lebanon, that they have relative peace. We want to make sure that Bawku will come back in its past glory, so that at least we can all come back here. Every security officer will touch Bawku before he will go on retirement. So please forgive us where we have gone wrong. Forgive us where we have gone wrong. Those mistakes will be corrected. Let us know where we have gone wrong and we'll correct it. We are appealing to the youth that what we see about the youth from Bawku in the Ghana police, in the military, and then in other security services, they always discharge their duties with professionalism, duty consciousness. Those who have retired, who have worked in any of these security services, have all distinguished themselves And so we are appealing to you to lay down your arms, have confidence in us, so that together we'll work and then we'll bring peace to this area. We assure you that when it comes to recruitment, we'll give the people of Bawku priority. We'll give the youth of Bawku priority.
Well, the IGP, Christian GHOne, says we'll give the people of Bawku priority in enlistment. Must it come to this? Must we promise the people enlistment into the security service for them to lay down their tools? What is the best possible way to stem this tide of violence in Bawku? For years, this has been raging. For years, we've witnessed deaths. For years, we've witnessed businesses collapse in Bawku. For years, we've seen school being closed down. There's a new curfew imposed. Is that the best possible way? Many say we should declare a state of emergency. Maybe the president should listen and say that, well, in as much as we are bringing the Otumfuo to mediate in the process, this is not the first time. Have we seen results? Has it yielded positive results in that particular area? No. So why not declare a state of emergency? Or some say it is far-fetched. Is it really far-fetched? Let's listen to President Mahama prior to the 2024 general elections, what he said about Bawku.
NDC is in government. Bawku is at peace. Unfortunately, as soon as NDC leaves government, the Bawku crisis flares up again. There's no chieftaincy conflict in Bawku. There cannot be two kings in one kingdom. Every government recognizes that the overlord of Bawku is Naba Abugago Asigri II. And that's why I say there's no conflict, no chieftaincy conflict. And so peace in Bawku is going to be my priority when I become president.
Okay. So this is what President Mohammed said prior to the 2024 election, that whenever the NDC is in power, the situation in Bawku is calm. It's been over 100 days since the NDC came into power. Let's say 100 days of the NDC being in power. What is the current situation in Bawku? How many deaths have been recorded? How many attacks have we seen in that area? Is the situation that President Mahama mentioned the same now? What is the possible way to solve this? The courts have ruled. The law is the law. Who is the legitimate chief of Bawku? And why are the people of Bawku, some factions, against one Seydou Abagre? Do we go back to the courts to determine again, even though the courts had earlier determined that Seydou Abagre is not the legitimate chief in Bawku, and that Abugrago Azoka is the legitimate chief? Why do we continue to kill ourselves in the name of ethnicity, in the name of religion, in the name of chieftaincy, and who has a right to sit on a certain stool? It is time we look at a state of emergency. But President Mahama has been speaking again about Bawku currently. Let's hear him.
Let us support our security services and the Ghana Armed Forces with information that is useful and intelligence that is helpful, that will advance their work rather than retrogress it. Let me reiterate that we will take all allegations of crime seriously and trigger our security service investigative machinery to go after criminals no matter who they are. But let me state emphatically also that we do not have the resources and time to engage in any game of smoke and mirrors. The Ghana Armed Forces is engaged in several theaters to maintain peace and security in our nation. One major flashpoint continues to be the Bawku area. Only 2 days ago, an incident in a marketplace triggered an unfortunate loss of lives and criminal vandalism of property. I wish to emphasize that nobody gains from this situation of conflict and insecurity. We have triggered the Otumfuo mediation process, which saw all stakeholders participate in discussions in Kumasi on a roadmap towards peace. I'm assured by the Asantehene that the process will resume next week when he returns from his brief visits abroad.
Okay, so the president last week said that the mediation process will begin this week. Is this... After Inside Out, now that I talked about maybe we need to go back to the courts for a determination, let's head to the courts, and Captain has joined me, the Ghana himself. How are you, Captain?
I'm fine, thank you, Lily. How about you?
I'm doing awesome.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was come size. A bit of rest, a bit of everything in between.
That's how you can balance it. That's how Mexican.
So I had a balanced weekend.
That is always good. Balanced diet.
And I think I rested.
You enjoyed the weekend.
I did rest a lot. Yeah.
I think it's the most important and the priority for the weekend is to be able to recharge, energize, and come back very strong and all of that.
For the kind of job we do,
you need that.
We need rest.
Absolutely.
And it's always important to rejuvenate, to replenish the energy we lose during the week, so weekends. And so sometimes it's very difficult when people invite me for their events.
And then you don't show up.
Honoring invitations on weekends is now a chore for me. Before, I used to enjoy it, but now, I'm not saying, no offense to anybody who invites me. I won't say I don't enjoy it, but it's a Herculean task, having to wake up, get outfit ready, and even do my makeup. Oh goodness!
You end up not having time. Yeah. So sometimes I know it's difficult, like you mentioned. Some too have to understand that, Charlie. You get to a certain point in time, you have to be deliberate about certain things. So if I'll have to get a car, spend a lot before coming there,
and the commuting times in Accra. You spend a lot of commute time getting to places, and then commute
a day,
time
for
back.
instance, a weekend you end up attending one wedding, two weddings, sometimes naming ceremonies, funerals.
Oh God! Please, sometimes when we say we cannot show up, please understand. Now maybe the best thing is, we know that during such events you spend money, right?
Absolutely.
So we can make up with financial obligations. But some people will say, "Oh, it is your presence we want."
Yes.
But Charlie,
sometimes they need to understand because it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Not easy.
Anyway, let's head to the courts. All right, so we're in court.
Yes, Lily.
Captain, what's up in court?
This morning I'll be very brief with you.
Please.
So the Ahmed Swale's case is still in the news this morning. In fact, today the High Court in Accra will be deciding or be dealing with the bail application filed by Daniel Corantin Usu. In fact, he was arrested in respect of Ahmed Swale's death. 2 counts, abetment. You note that since he has been arraigned at the Medina District Court, one of the things that came to the fore is to the effect that, yes, he's the one that sold pictures of Ahmed Swale to Kennedy Ohene Japan, was shown on the 2 television, was shown on TV, and days later, Ahmed Swale was murdered. He also admitted that he and Ahmed Swale have been friends. They worked together with Tiger IPI, but at the time the incident was happening, they were former colleagues, meaning that he was not with Tiger IPI at the time.
At the time of Solicitor,
and all of that. Prosecution amended the charge sheet, so now 2 count abetment and murder. His plea has not been taken because investigations are ongoing. The district court on 2 occasions has denied him bail, but he's moved to the High Court. And for the second time, last time, it didn't happen because the hearing notice will have to be served on the other party, the prosecution, to be precise. So today, Justice Kizita Nako Akwashi will be listening to submissions in respect of the bail application that have been filed by his lawyers, and then the prosecution will respond to that, and the court then will have the opportunity to make a determination as to whether to grant the bail application or otherwise. So today we'll be at the court and then we'll hear whatever will happen in there. But what is clear is that Daniel Cranton Owusu is still in lawful custody until such time that his bail application, whether it's successful, then he will have to find his way out. But if it's not successful, then he has to be in lawful custody until such time that the court finds favor with his application, a case against it. So on your screens are the last time that the parties were in court. So Lewin at the far end on the phone there, leaving the premises when they last met at the court before the case was adjourned, and that's Matankuma also on your screens over there, leaving the court at the last time that she and Lewin both appeared before the High Court, when they all agreed that yes, now they have reached settlement. But of course, the terms of the settlement will have to be filed at the court, and the court will then have to adopt it as a consent judgment. They were supposed to have done that on April 1, and we knew, or we do know, that the 1st of April was a holiday. Yes. So the following day, when the parties, in fact, lawyers for Martha and Kuma were at the court, picked the new date, and the new dates that they have picked is the 14th of April, which is today. And today, they are hoping, the parties will be hoping to file their terms of settlement before Justice for Simba Ejepon, and then the court will adopt same as a consent judgment. And when the parties adopt cases of this nature in situations like that, it is both of you who have agreed on the terms. This time around, you cannot even say that I'm going on appeal or anything, because that is your agreement, and whatever is contained in the terms of settlement will have to be followed, or will have to be respected in all of that. So today we are hoping to see the parties in court, and when they come in court, the only thing we expect is that they will tell the court that these are the terms that we have filed, signed by both parties, and then we have agreed. Initially, 5 million defamation sum. It has been reduced to 2 million, which I know, and at the last court sitting, Lewin and his lawyers, or Lewin to be precise, says that he wants to offer, on 200,000 Ghana cedis, which the parties felt like, no, at this particular point, the kind of injuries you have caused to Mata and Koman's reputation and all of that, and more also the kind of apology that he initially offered, which Mata and Koman and the lawyer, Mata and Koman to be precise, thinks that, look, it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, he was involved in the trial.
No. So the man you see on your screen there.
Cancel.
Yes,
Happy
cancel.
birthday
Yes.
to you.
Yeah. So on the birthday session, I know that one will come.
Sometimes
That is just a fine gentleman, and yes, he's been very
fine
helpful
lawyer.
also. Very, very fine lawyer. Very fine indeed. He's been very helpful in my course of doing my work at the court and all of that. So this morning, counsel,
happy birthday.
I wish you happy birthday and all the best in some.
All the best in giving us pro bono cases. Anyway, Cassie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lily.
We'll catch you definitely on the flip side. That's it for court today. So court today is done. Let's head to the sports world, and the man who's always outside today, dear, he's dressed for inside. Jones said he's a tie. Jones, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
You're inside though. You're not outside.
Oh, it's just normal. No pressure. No
Hey,
pressure.
just a Monday season.
Yeah. Good morning to Mr. Jantwa in Arsenal.
You see, the man is wearing white. White symbolizes victory.
Yeah.
Right? What was Manchester United score?
Manchester United lost 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah.
You are celebrating that.
No. You see, back in primary, they taught us a song. He that is down.
Yes, no
fall. You are fighting for the Premier League title, and you keep sleeping. When you check the slag says that Liverpool close to Premier League title as Arsenal sleep again.
Oh,
again.
Really.
Let's
be honest with ourselves. He is a football pundit, right? You follow football and all of that.
Yeah.
Arsenal's for the last 2 games that we have been deliberate with our selection because we have our focus on the Champions League. It is the only tournament that we think that realistically we can win trophy. So the EPL that we know that is far gone.
Okay.
Even though
it's far gone.
Not yet, I told you.
I like the admission.
You know what?
That admission settles.
He's saying that they are going to win the Champions League. Because I am from we'll be here on Wednesday by 7 p.m. The game will start. 9:50.
The way Madrid
then we'll see
us.
If Arsenal would be like Man U, we will all be trophyless.
At least I have something to hope. What about you?
Oh, yes. I can also win the Europa League. I can also win the Europa League.
Anyway, thank you, Captain. We'll catch you on the flip side. Jones, what's more in sports this morning?
So we'll start off from the Technical University Games and where Takrady Technical University came tops. Yes, they've won a lot of gold. I think 10 gold medals. Yeah, from the just ended Technical University Games that happened in. Right. So there you have the table. There you have the full table there, and then you could actually see that the Takrady Technical University team won 10 gold medals, 11 silver medals, and then 9 bronze medals. And then Tamale came second at 10, 4 for silver, and then 5 bronze medals. And then Cape Coast, the host, had 9 gold medals, 11 silver medals, and then 10 bronze medals. And then ATU right here in Accra came fourth with 7 gold. So there you can actually see all the universities. Sunyani, this year they are far. But then congratulations to Takrady, for coming tops of the Technical University. Built a lot of tension ahead of the game, and then it's actually ended in a 1-1 draw there.
Imagine fighting with your father.
Yeah.
And you go ahead to say that.
No, this one is grandfather. His father, you know.
They don't even respect.
Karela United beat Adriana by 2 goals to nothing. Brekum Chelsea beat my favorite team, Bandwats of Lions, by a goal to nothing. Bibiani Gold Stars also beat Young Apostles by a goal to nothing. Legon Cities lost to Samatex by 2 goals to nothing. So what this means is that Bibiani Gold Stars have now moved to the top of the table. Kotoko are still top, but with a better goal difference. Okay. So it is shaping up well. We have about 8 games to go, and it promises to be exciting. And so all 4 teams, Kotoko, Nations FC, Nations are just got 3 goals and 3 points because Nswatramain are saying that they will not play the league anymore. So it's a good one for Nations FC. Now let's move on to Arsenal. Yes. As we said earlier, Liverpool beat West Ham. Mohammed Kudus' West Ham by 2 goals to 1, and so they are close to the English Premier League title. It was an interesting one on Saturday and Sunday. Manchester United, we are down. We are down. So it's we
fear no foe.
Yeah. So let's get to see the results from the English Premier League on Saturday and then on Sunday as the likes of Manchester City. So Manchester City beat Crystal Palace 5 goals to 2. Nottingham Forest lost to Everton by a goal to nothing. Southampton lost to Aston Villa by 3 goals to nothing. Brighton and Leicester settled for a 2-2 draw. Arsenal, they killed the investors. They worried the investors. They played out a 1-1 draw in there. And then we also saw on Sunday, Manchester United, defeated by Newcastle United by 4 goals to 1. Liverpool beat West Ham 2-1. Chelsea, who are looking to qualify for the Champions League, they settled for a 2-2 draw with Ipswich, who are in the relegation zone, and then Wolves beat Tottenham Hotspur by 4 goals. And now the table in the English Premier League, Liverpool now have 76 points. The Kpokpo Bilibili team, Arsenal are second with 63, and Nottingham Forest are third 57. Newcastle are fourth with 56, and then we see Manchester City in the top 5 with 55 points. Chelsea, who slipped up yesterday, announced it with 54 points in there. For those of you who want to laugh at Manchester United, we will not bring the table from the bottom. Yes, if you don't want you to laugh at Manchester United, let's bring you some AFCON news. Yes, because the under-20 AFCON is on, and Ghana has been drawn in Group C. So the AFCON was supposed to happen in La Côte d'Ivoire, but then La Côte d'Ivoire declined to host, and then Egypt have now taken up the reins to host. So they've now joined Group A. So Egypt are now in Group A, and with Zambia, Sierra Leone, South Africa, and then Tanzania. And then Group B would see Nigeria, Tunisia, Kenya, and then Morocco. And then Ghana, we are in Group C with the likes of Senegal, Central African Republic, and then DR Congo. Well, the tournament would start from April 27th and end on the 18th of May. Let's see if Ghana can use that slot and qualify for the U20 World Cup. Let's end off with some Formula One, because Oscar Piastri, actually won, the Bahrain Grand Prix. He came first for McLaren and winning this year. So the second time he's won the Grand Prix this year in 2025. Congratulations to Oscar Piastri. And then you can see the highlights of the Formula One that happened in Bahrain yesterday there on your screens. And George Russell came second. Lando Norris came third. Charles Leclerc of Ferrari came fourth. Lewis Hamilton, surprisingly, he's yet to win this year, but let's see how it goes. He's now with Ferrari. He plays fifth, and then Max Verstappen plays sixth, and then we see Pierre Gasly placing seventh in there. Right? So that should do it for sports this morning. But Lily, on Friday, I brought some news to Sawa for a Formula One driver called Carlos Sainz. He was 5 seconds late to the national anthem of Japan. The last Grand Prix before this weekend's one was played in Japan. And then normally the drivers would have to line up and then come for the anthem. He was 5 seconds late to the podium, and he's been fined 10,000 euros. 5 seconds late. 5 seconds late. Boy. The Ghana there.
We are not only 5 seconds, we are hours late.
Yeah. Right, so that will do it for sports this week. We're expecting the Champions League to happen this week. Arsenal are going to go to Real Madrid, and then we also will be seeing the likes of Barca play Dortmund on Tuesday, and then Aston Villa will take on PSG in the Champions League. Manchester United, we are hoping to win the Europa, so there will be Europa action as well, and then we would have the Formula One happen again this weekend. So this week is going to be exciting in terms of sports. My name is GHOne Zedi. Inside.
Today you're inside. Thank you very much, Jones, for that sports update. Let's tell you what the newspapers are reporting this morning. We begin with the Daily Graphic. Banner headline: Government rejects Goldfields Damang lease renewal. President launches Feed Ghana program to transform agric landscape. It will feature prominently on our breakfast review. School feeding begins. Restructuring. 31 days arrears for caterers cleared. SuperSem discovers clinker substitute. Invests $100 million in new technology. The Ghanaian Times says food security, job creation. Feed Ghana program takes off. Schools, prisons, households to participate. That's according to President Mahama. But the critical question is, for households, do we have the lands? Work to transform GRA into model of excellence. VEEP is admonishing. Help revamp ailing New Times Corporation. GCGL ICU urges government. And now to the Daily Guide. Bawku Youth Fire IGP's car officer injured. Save judiciary from executive interference. That's according to Vincent Akwasifari. Roy Group ready for 24-hour economy. Dr. Niyama appointed AIES director. SuperSem CBI $100 million technology to address cement shortage. We move on to the Chronicle newspaper. IGP escaped snipers' bullets at Bawku. Solving clinker poses SuperSem Cement builds $100 million LCC plant in Tema. $400 million annual importation of chicken is a shame. That's according to President Mahama. Luke 11:1, Jesus said to his disciples, things that cause people to stumble are bound to come, but woe to anyone through... Okay, I cannot get the last bit. If you grab a copy of the Chronicle, you can read. The Daily Dispatch. Otumfuo's peace moves in Bawku crisis will resume this week. We brought you that on Inside Out. Bawku conflict has claimed over 300 lives since November 2021. That's a shame. Grab a copy of the Daily Dispatch and read more. The Custodian newspaper. Kusor residents chase out IGP. Minority task Mahama to end Bawku conflict. Cleaning Ghana, creating jobs. The Zoomline story is on the Custodian newspaper. The New Crusading Guide, 32.5 billion cedis cocoa board debt saved Ghana's cocoa sector. Boahiyeju reveals. Titanium 123 properties fights Kofi Aben Holdings and others over land. All 18 MMDCE nominees unanimously confirmed in the Volta region. Mahama's Feed Ghana program takes off. Bawku conflict will remain neutral in our duties, IGP assures. The Ghanaian publisher. Bawku conflict haunts Mahama. Minority demands urgent action. 32.5 billion debt saved cocoa sector. That's according to Joseph Bohinedu. NPP slams government over tariff hikes. We'll also talk about that on the Breakfast Review. The News Center. ICE calls on government to intervene in daily graphic Ghanaian Times financial woes. MTN Heroes of Change Season 7 showcases Ghanaians transforming communities. Margins ID Group sweeps top honors at EFG Corporate Finance Awards. Electricity 352% hike in 16 years. Fresh 14.75% hike takes effect May 3. But for how long can consumers bear the pain? The AGI has said this will lead to job losses. We'll talk about that on the Breakfast Review. Feed Ghana launched to boost national food productivity. So those are the stories on the various front pages of our newspapers. Grab copies. You can walk to your various stalls and pick up newspaper stalls and pick up your newspapers, or you can simply log online and read about all these stories. Alternatively, you can log on to starfm.com.gh. We have a host of stories there for you to read. I take a break. I take a quick musical break, and when I return, my guests will be seated and will do proper postmortem of issues of national interest. Leading the pack will be tariff increment, Bawku, Operation Feed Ghana. Do we really have the lands for households to partake in this? I am back shortly. You're welcome back to the show. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV. I am Lily Mohammed. It's now time for the breakfast review. And today, a host of topics to discuss. We'll talk about the tariff increments. Now, if you're a consumer of utilities, water, electricity, know that beginning May 3, brace yourself to pay for more electricity, 14% and 4% in water tariff increment. What does this mean for the local businessman out there? What does this mean even for persons, households out there? AGI says this may lead to job losses. What did the NDC say prior to the assumption of office in 2024? Let's hear a few of the things the NDC said they would do to utilities if they want power.
For our economy, no. The Ayabaya say, Abai Ebecha electricity boa, Ewo from Kura, Ediama, Ednuma Efua, Mobeba Juma, and Ajonuma Beya Juma. Enti Muamuya fundraise, Muamuya welders, Muamukra, a cast in India, Manema, Mushia, electricity pano, Mo Penufo, Namo Juma and Fasua Bamua. Mobile sign it, na mobile juma anajo. Anajo use electricity na nebo a day, a call from one more year iron rods. And then ya mu use nyama wade keseno. Mobile mo juma anajoa. Ube unse, anyama wade bo call from pa abuamo. Ama mwanya mfaswo, na mabru no so, wa mwanya juma aye. Enti abana anteni a church 24-hour economy num.
Well, this is what the NDC said prior to the 2024 general elections. Still on what the NDC said within the 8-year period of the NPP's administration. This is what the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sami Jemfi, also said.
I tell you unequivocally that if President Mahama was President of the Republic of Ghana, all Ghanaians would have been enjoying free electricity.
My guest this morning, Mohammed, he is a Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Pretty shortly, NS Nogbe will join us for a discussion on this issue. But let me start with Haruna since he's here. Haruna, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Lily.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Electricity tariffs have gone up. Electricity 14% and water has also gone up 4%, which will be effective come May. And a number of the things that have been said is because of the IMF conditionalities, which is and then prompted by exchange rates, domestic inflation, cost of natural gas. And so it is inherent that we increase electricity, we increase water. But prior to the NDC coming into office, I mean, the NDC said a lot of things. I have played a host of it. We have even had John Jinapo, who is now the energy minister, said at the time that Dr. Bawku was cajoling the PURC into increasing tariffs. What are your thoughts?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I say good morning to you and your cherished viewers out there. I believe that there is a saying that the record does not lie, and history will always guide us into making decisions when we are confronted with the reality. I am happy that you have recalled some of these particular statements of this very good gentleman of our land who have made significant contributions relative to the energy sector and utility and tariffs in general. It is good that when we are faced with the reality, we are reminded of our previous commentary. In fact, I hold in my hand here the 24-hour economy formation of 133.
And what does that mean? What does the 133 mean?
In fact, the national chairman of the NDC, as you have played the tape, did indicate it. And I wasn't very much surprised because we were told that they would reduce electricity tariffs or even tariffs in general to the barest minimal to be able to allow companies and businesses to operate. And you know, the whole essence of the 24-hour economy, since they have even come into government, is crumbling. There has not been any policy direction. There has not been any preparation. There has only been appointment into positions where persons who have been appointed have not been able to deliver to the promises of the 24-hour economy. The basics of it is that 133 means that one job, 3 people working on that job, 3 shifts.
Okay.
In that particular scenario, the whole essence of the 3 shifts has even failed the good people of Ghana. And that is the resultant effect of which is public service workers are being dismissed, people are sacked, persons who are technical persons have been sacked because we were made to understand, and the youth of the NDC were made to understand that when they come into government, despite the fact that the MPP has created over 2 million jobs, when they come, they would have 3-fold of the 2 million jobs that have been created, because they would have 2 more persons that will be added to the people who have been recruited already. What we are seeing now is that they are dismissing them under that particular policy. And if you permit me, I read, under key sectors of the 24-hour economic policy, it is said that cheaper and reliable electricity for participating businesses based on a time of use tariff system. This is contained in their manifesto. This is the abridged version, and this is so much captured. You see, when you use propaganda to win elections, the reality of time will expose you. It is about time that politicians get to understand that you can't continue to play on the emotions of the good people of Ghana to come to power, and then when the reality is done on you, you turn mute. I am not surprised that my co-panelist is not making up on that time, because this is a very difficult topic to discuss. After having gone into the market, tell the people out there, assure them of everything, the people have come out to vote for you massively, and this is what we are confronted with. And Lily, what is important for all of us to know is that electricity is an essential commodity and a major determinant of the economic prosperity of our country. So to increase electricity to such a height and to look at our face and tell us that it is because of the IMF conditionalities, which is not true anyway. You know,
how so? It is not true?
There was IMF conditionalities when the MPP was sitting on the seat. And I can't give you the record of how electricity or tariffs in general has been fared over the period. But what I want many Ghanaians to know is that this particular increment will have a replicate effect on many things, including businesses. Because if you look at it, electricity plays a very key role in quality healthcare delivery. Electricity plays a very key role in education. Electricity plays a very key role in transport. Electricity plays a very key role in effective communication. As we sit here, if we lack electricity, or the production level of electricity is not does not commensurate with the output of which we need, it will affect the communication effectiveness. Electricity also plays a very key role in mineral exploration Electricity also plays many roles in serving and building and serving as a building block for many other companies or sectors of the economy. So in this particular scenario, when electricity is increased, it is not about the bill that you pay. It is about the operational level of companies, businesses, the small-scale business, the large-scale business, and what will happen to the medium term to the next level. And that is what we all look at, the operational effectiveness and the replicate effect on so many things. Electricity increment will cause businesses to increase prices of items because production costs will go up, and then transportation costs will go up when tariffs of water goes up. And when you heard the National Communications Director of the NDC, he said electricity, they would have been given water for free. The first time water for free has been given in this country is as a result of the pandemic that came. A government that is so passionate, a government that is so sympathetic, a government that is so empathizing with the people, decided to provide electricity, water for free, and even had some component of electricity to the rural areas being provided for free because payment was drastically reduced, and in some cases it was zero rated. So these are matters that we have to look at, and to point to the fact that the NDC did not tell us the truth. In fact, they compromised with the truth, they glossed over the records, and I can tell you that when it comes to such particular matters, the NDC cannot compare themselves to us. We have said that we have not brought heaven to the good people of Ghana, but the NDC definitely cannot be a comparison to the MPP. And I'll give you the record. In 2009, when they took power, there was no tariff increment. In 2010, they had 89% increase in tariffs. In 2011, they had 10% increase in tariffs. In 2012, they had 7.2% increase in tariffs. In 2013, 58.9% increase in tariffs. And in 2014, 28.35% increase in tariffs. And in 2015, 90.93% increase in tariffs. In 2016, 10% increase. Lily, it will interest you to take the record of the NPP. 2017, we did not also have an increment in tariffs. 2018, we had 17.5% reduction in tariffs. We had 17.46% increase in 2019. In 2020, we did not increase. 2021, we did not increase. 2022, we did not increase. In 2023, we had 51.02% increment. And in 2024, we have 6.47% increment. If you look at the cumulative increment, you see that the NDC has given us over 290+% increment when the MPP is hovering somewhere 57.45% increment. What it tells you is that it takes a good economic management team, people that can well resonate with you to be able to get to this particular fit. It doesn't just take it by propaganda or by word of mouth. It is that there should be so much commitment to get to this particular destination, and that is what the NDC lack. Okay.
Ernest Nogbe has joined us. Good morning to you. He is a member of Parliament for Ashaiman and the chairman of the Committee of Youth and Sports in Parliament. You are welcome. Thank you. We are discussing the tariff increment beginning May 3. Tariffs will be increased. Electricity 14% and water 4%. AGI says this will lead to some job losses. Is this not disingenuous to the Ghanaian public? I mean, for a party that campaigned on the back of a certain 24-hour economy, don't you think that if companies are to adhere to the 24-hour economy policy, how are they going to survive when tariffs are being increased?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers. Yes, as you rightly said, this is a party that has a flashy program as 24 hours economy. Yeah. And those industries need electricity, power, to remain 24 hours. Now, as we speak, we have almost, we are owing about 80 billion, Ghana cedis in the electricity sector. And it has been projected that by 2027 we would have gone to 127 billion dollars or Ghana cedis. And so we need to do something drastically, because when you look at the situation now, the continuous piling of the debt, of the energy sector debt, is something that worries Ghana. And if care is not taken, within the shortest possible time, we'll start experiencing the doomsday that we experienced some time ago. And we all agree that it may be a burden on the society, on the taxpayer. It may be a burden on the industry, but we also need to do to make sure that we support the system. Because don't forget that within the 8 years of the MPP, they have never added even a single megawatt to our electricity, to our power generation. They have not. And so, and every now and then, the economy is growing. And since the economy is growing, I mean, areas they are establishing, I mean, we have a developing economy and developing country. And so you have to know that electricity must be extended to areas that were not previously, on the map. And so now when those areas are coming in, we are generating more, but we are not adding more to the, more power, more megawatts to the, what we have in previous times. So since that is happening, we must be incurring more, cost. And as you incur more cost, it's a burden on the economy. And so therefore, you need to do something drastic to alleviate that particular, whatever you are adding to it. And so don't also forget, the IMF has, flagged Ghana, the energy sector, as one of the worst. And if care is not taken and it collapses, something will happen to, those industries that we are crying for. Yes, we all agree and admit that every household and every industry needs this power to propel their workforce, etc. And so if that is done, if that should be done, then we all need to adjust to the situation. You see, it's not for nothing that the labor union has accepted 10% increment of their whatever salary in Ghana, because they have realized that they have to also play a major role in reshaping and resetting their economy. And so therefore we can only appeal to Ghanaians that even the 14% which percent of tariff that has been added to it is something that is at the high side, but all the same we all need to work together to make sure that we don't experience the doomsday we experienced in the past. And that is all the government is trying to do, so that we can reduce the debt, and at the end of the day we'll be able to settle every debt, and then we move ahead.
And so you impose more on. So how much more should Ghanaians brace themselves for? Because yes, you mentioned the IMF. I know that somewhere in December, the IMF mentioned that austerity measures needed to be put in place, especially in the energy sector. And one of the things that the IMF outlined was for tariff adjustments, quarterly tariff adjustments. And so the PURC has done that in that regard. Yeah. But how much more should Ghanaians brace themselves to pay for? Because while you were in opposition, you were giving us juice, for want of a better expression, that, Ghana can be run by this, Ghana can be done by this, but the situation is different. So was it that you didn't have a perfect picture of what Ghana was looking like at the time, but now you have the perfect picture? Not exactly so. Lily, you can testify to the fact that within these 3 months, the NDC government has done a lot. Most of the promises that we gave Ghanaians were fulfilled within these 3 months, most of them within these 3 months. And so that should tell you that we are in to work, and we are in to work for Mother Ghana. This is an emergency situation. It's a drastic situation. Don't forget, before we assume office, if we had not implemented some drastic measures within 3-4 days, because the previous government did not do certain due diligence and to pay certain amount of, we would have gone into doomsday at that point in time. But within that
3-4 days, we had to bring in some drastic measures to be able to sustain power as we speak now. We are saying that but this one will not last for long.
You cannot say that Ghanaians are not experiencing doom, so can you? Because there's been pockets of lights out, and even aside that, there's been a bit of inconsistent water flows here and there. Is this still part of the challenges that you inherited?
Well, as we speak now, yes, definitely. As we speak now, there will not be any official communication that there's doomsday or even a timetable to that effect. Probably there could be, power outages at certain areas due to probably breakdown of certain transformers, etc. I don't know. Okay. I cannot tell for that. Okay. So, but for now, I can say there's no doomsday because there's no timetable. And that is what I'm saying, that Ghanaians need power. We all need it, definitely. 24-hour economy needs power. We all need power to propel our businesses, etc. And all that we need to do now is just to, at least, for want of words, just tighten our belt small, and this will not last for long. I can tell you this will not last for long. Within the shortest possible time.
Give us timelines?
Well, I may not be able to give timelines now, but I know within the shortest possible time, when the debt is reduced to appreciable level, that may not cause us in future. John Dramani Mahama already would have even cancelled this, or they might have even reduced the tariff once more. So let's just embrace it for now. And then, as the labor union did, they were asking for a particular percentage. We reduced it because they understood where we are as people. They understood where the previous government brought us to, where we are. And so therefore, they just accepted whatever proposal that the government gave to them. And so we just want to appeal to them once again that this will not last for long. We have started putting some measures in place, and within the shortest possible time, let's all help to do it, and this will be reduced once again.
Okay. Haruna.
Really, very interesting. Honorable, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
It's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, you see, we are made to believe that doomsday is not with us. Everybody knows. I slept in darkness.
Which area?
Tema.
Okay.
Klagon, specifically. I slept.
But I'm also coming from there.
Yes, Klagon.
I'm coming from
slept.
Ashaman, yes.
Yeah, but our lines might be
maybe
different.
Your transformer has a problem.
If you live in Klagon and its environs, kindly let us know, how has the power situation been? If you also live anywhere around in Ghana, let us know the power situation. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to read comments from you. So please kindly tell us your power situation in your various areas on our various social media pages with the hashtag GHToday.
It's worse off. Yesterday,
it's worse off?
Yes.
How many hours of power outage did you have?
Yesterday, I had to make people to go to my house in Tamale to work on my generators.
Okay.
And to refuel them, because there is always light off here and there. We are all experiencing it. It is about time we look into the face of the good people of Ghana and tell them the truth.
But did the NPP at the time tell Ghanaians the truth? Because at some point, we were equally experiencing power outages.
When it happened, we came and said we were going to do Doom CSA. And that was what, exactly. We told the good people of Ghana that as the light goes off, we are offering it to maintain. And that is why
but when light
it was
goes off and comes back on, what is it termed?
But you look at the period in which we enjoyed Doomkura for good 4 years under John Mahama. That's why we said that with John Mahama is Dadana, nothing is going to change.
Okay.
And that is why we are where we are. He's talking about MPP not adding to any capacity since we came. You've forgotten that under the MPP one under Otumfuo, we added over 1,440 megawatts. And
I think he was referring
yes, no, I'm coming there.
Okay.
You see, it's not about you coming always and adding more to generational capacity.
Right.
That will be the definition of how you have resolved the power sector. It doesn't mean that all the time you should come and add to generational capacity. You don't do. That was why you came, and then you went and had take or pay contracts, which was sitting and incurring so much cost to us. You don't generate more than what you need. You put some excess aside. Whether you use it or not, you pay for it. So when you come and there is excess power, and we had to renegotiate some of them, you don't going to take more power and add. But besides that, we have focused that we want to make sure that solar is contributing more to the Ghanaian power generation. And that is why we have added over 112 megawatts of solar. You go to the Bui solar project that we have put, which was a generation capacity even from start by President Otumfuo. We added that. You go to Laura, you see the solar farm. You also go to Tema, the free zones enclave, about 16.8 megawatt was added, which was commissioned by Krapa. A lot of other solar generational capacities were installed under President Akufo-Addo. So you cannot sit and say that under the MPP's administration, we have not added a single megawatt. That is not true. It is not amounting to the fact. And again, you see, I am afraid that the job losses will be more huge because those who operate cold businesses, these cold stores, when they store and the lights goes off for 12 hours, for 24 hours, for 48 hours, you see, they have to take their food and throw it away.
But is that where we are now?
That is where we are.
48 hours, 24 hours?
Yeah, people sleep in darkness for 2 days.
For 48
Yes,
hours?
for 2 days.
I'd love to hear from viewers.
People sleep in darkness for 2 days.
Witnessed 48 hours power outages, 24 hours power outages. Please send us your comments. Let me read from you.
And Lily, the worst of it is that you are sitting down. Within the space of 1 hour, you have 8 light-offs. Do you know what it causes? Breaks down of your equipment, gadgets. It can cause fire outbreaks. Look at what is happening to our markets. You heard of in Sawam, the Barclays Bank, now Absa Bank. People are raising questions about the power fluctuations. Do you know what business, the amount of money that they are going to lose? The FDI that these banks would have generated to us because they are foreign banks, the effect on our economy, the small business operator, how the person is going to suffer.
Even sometimes at areas that I'm aware of, they experience light out. Okay. But what is the cause of that light out? What is the cause of that power outage?
Are you then saying that whenever people experience light out, it means that there's probably an underlying factor of maybe a transformer blowout or something? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. And until the government comes out to say that we are experiencing doomsday, and this is the timetable, because experiencing light out for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours is not something that we can say that is doomsday. Do you understand? And I'm surprised that my brother will say that it is not about adding more to the capacity that is not of use. You see, a government that is proactive, a government that knows where the direction of the country at a point in time, will always want to plan ahead. Okay. And so planning ahead or getting more, capacity for future use, and you say you are paying for that, and knowing very well that this is a developing economy. It is not a developed economy, it is a developing economy. And you may need that capacity, you may need that generation in future to work with. I don't think it should be something that we will have to say that you just add capacity and we are paying for such a capacity or such a whatever. So all that we are saying is that no matter the situation, 3 months into government, so are they telling us that because we assume office, we begin to experience doomsday in the country, or it is because of our mismanagement of the energy sector? And I just told you that before we assume office, almost 3 days to swearing in, we were about experiencing doomsday.
Okay.
But we had to take some drastic measures. The energy minister, and then that is all the more reason why President Mahama had to appoint first the energy minister, the attorney general, and the finance minister. It was because of the mess you left, and we had to correct it. And we promised Ghanaians that we were going to correct it. And that is why he had to do that. And he has done that.
How soon should Ghanaians expect this correction process to kickstart?
Well, I know President John. You know, he's President John Dramani Mahama has a knowledge in the energy sector.
Okay.
And that is one of his,
his fortes.
Yes, exactly. And the minister that we have now and the finance minister, they will quickly have to settle down and then settle all these matters, and they will do it because I know their capacity and their experience in these sectors. Give us 1 year, we'll be able to settle all these matters and we move ahead. All that I'm saying is that
today is Monday, 14th April. You say we should give you a year.
No, I am not speaking for the government anyway.
Okay.
I am speaking as a politician and as an MP, a member of parliament.
And so you are promising the good people of Ashaiman that by a year, hopefully, hopefully 14th of April 2026, the challenges we're experiencing in the energy sector may be a thing of the past.
It may not be a thing of the past, but may reduce to appreciable level.
Okay.
Lily, you see, in one breath, he says that since they assumed power, they have been able to make several inroads and they have solved all problems. In another breath,
I never said all problems.
But you heard
I said most problems.
that they have been able to fulfill their promises.
Most of the promises.
Yes, most of the promises. And there's no single promise that they have achieved.
No, they promised to scrap e-levy. They promised to
I have the 120 days. I have the 120 days.
Yes,
the social contract.
I also have
you have not achieved up to 40%. No. You see, honorable. You see,
40% of what?
Of your promises.
120 days social contract.
You have not. You haven't. And you see, you talk about production. I'm a student of production management. We have what we call production capacity and utilization capacity.
Okay.
It is always something that you have to look at when you are doing production management. The point you wanted to raise is about being reactive and proactive.
Exactly so.
And when you are proactive and not being reactive, you need to look at the cost component and the cost center. You don't go incurring on fixed costs to the detriment of variable cost. You need to be very aware that I should be investing on variable cost that will work on production capacity rather than fixing or putting much of my money on fixed assets. That will sit and does not generate anything. And in that particular aspect, it also gives you a cost on depreciation, which affects the cost or the standard of living and also affect the production cost because you have to feed it into it and it affects pricing. That is why today cost of electricity is going up because we are having things that are sitting on. There are a lot of factors that goes into that. Today you are commending labor. Labor, you increase salaries by 10%. You remove e-levy, so let's add the 1% to it, make it 11%. So it gives us a total relief of 11%. Then you increase tariffs 14.755%. Then you increase water 4.02%. If you put it together cumulatively, that's 18.77%. Take 11% from it, you have negative 7.77%, which is affecting the good people of Ghana. So what have you done? In essence, take this little and pay more to us. So the Ghanaian worker is to pay more even with the advent of increasing less. And that is what concerns us. Besides us being politicians, we are citizens first. I cannot be a member of the MPP if I'm not a citizen of Ghana. Sure. So when we get this particular opportunity, we need to be very mindful and look at these particular matters and apportion them in their relevant sectors and look at what we can do perfectly. There's no government that will come and electricity costs will not go up. But the proportion on which you play on the emotions of the people of Ghana is what will affect your goodwill. Today, Ghanaians are not seeing it. But when we start to pay, we'll get to realize that it is something that is affecting us. We all know, under President Mahama, as we're talking, in the first term, for his 4 years, light would have gone off by 3 times.
Really?
You would have been on your generator. That was what we were doing.
And
That was what we were doing.
Were there not inherent challenges in the energy sector?
There were not inherent challenges. The whole essence of energy supply is cost.
Okay.
You see, you are mentioning these 3 persons. You are a member of parliament. I know you are a member of parliament in the 8th parliament.
Yeah.
You approved the first 3 months, the first quarter, which was appropriated by the MPP government. And monies that were meant for that particular budget was made available by Dr. Adam Amin Anta. Whichever cost that you were incurring or even spending from was from the goodwill of Akufo-Addo. Because constitutionally, you have to make those particular monies available. You had not done anything. So you have not done anything to generate income, revenue. Your first revenue that is going to accrue to you is the budget you are appropriating now.
Exactly the point.
So if you say that you are able to get money,
we experience now. So meaning that anything that we experience now is inherited.
Now we are, I'm telling you, the better way you manage it.
Sorry to cut in, but I have a few comments. Okay, so you can see it. You can also see it there. Bob Dominic says, seriously, the Dumso is getting worse here in the northern region. Well, anybody can decide to do propaganda, but it is not only the MPP experiencing it. If my director can go up. My place experienced lighthouses for 5 days, Nayoko, Buja, and others in Northeast. And after its return, it goes off and on like that. Okay. I wish Netco could have added the Dumso to game betting, even with specific times the light will off. I don't do betting, but I would have tried this because winning is assured. There is no day the off light here. Okay, so the person is trying to say they fly more than 7 times a day. Apparently, some areas in the north experience prolonged power outages exceeding 48 hours. In the upcoming hours, Netco will likely issue a statement citing faulty machines, and the next day another area will experience a blackout. I wish. Okay, see more. Kindly go up, director, for me. This has been the recurring pattern since the NDC took over. Dumso appears to be a persistent issue. Okay, this person sends his regards to you, Alhaji Haruna Mohammed.
Which means this person is an MPP.
But he's a citizen of Ghana.
So, obviously, but I'd love to hear more comments, especially from the Greater Accra region, from the Tema region. I'd love to read more comments from you. So please keep your comments coming. I appreciate your comments. Yes, Haruna, I catch you in
yes, so if you look at it, the viewers have mentioned it. The electricity going off Dumso does not affect only the MPP, the CPP, the NDC. It affects the generality of the good people of Ghana.
Absolutely.
And like I said, it affects education. It affects health delivery. You could see in the first term that children had to go on the public lighting system on the street to do their homework. Doctors have to own their phones to be able to do what? To carry out operations. So we don't want to get to that particular instance. And as we speak today, there are institutions, healthcare delivery systems, where because of Dumso, a lot of things are not happening. We are appealing to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, to stay true to his words. Let's solve it. Let's get the matter resolved. Let's tell the people the truth. Why is it that we are confronted with these matters and cables, meters in containers are missing? They are getting wings, they are flying, they are leaving. We don't know where they are going. We only knew that they are confirmed could fly to Burkina Faso. But how can a container fly? So all this, the container is not just an empty container. It contains essential materials in the energy sector. And that is what concerns the good people of Ghana. Please, let's not gamble with the lives of the people. Let's not gamble with the business growth of the people. Let's not gamble with the larger enterprises. And also in the media, these your machines that you are using. One Dumso can just destroy it. And it will take you years to be able to buy them. So that is why we kept the light on. So when you were talking about 24 hours economy, we told you that you could not even put light on for 8 hours, 2 hours. You are talking about 24 hours. It is very dangerous. And that is why they are not able to get a policy direction for the 24-hour economy.
Okay.
I am so much surprised that my brother here is saying that cables in containers are flying under NDC regime. Is that what you want to say? Is that what you are saying?
They are missing.
They are missing.
So in a container, unless you push it into the sea, it cannot walk outside.
I am just surprised. But you see, do you know something? Just wait. You get to know those who are behind the containers flying. You understand? Because this is what we have inherited previously, and we all know. We all know those who are in charge, and that is why we are going everywhere to look for these containers with cables. And very soon you begin to know the people, the very people under the previous administration who were behind these containers flying out. You will get to know. But you see, I never said that there's no light out or doomsaw anywhere. I'm saying that whether that doomsaw is official or it is due to maybe a faulty whatever, it's another matter. And somebody just said it, that NEDCO will come out and say faulty transformer, another time they will say something. So that is it. If there's a doomsaw, that is a national
but
issue.
I think the situation up north is quite peculiar because it's not a today thing. It's been happening for some time now. You go up north, and in some areas is low voltage throughout.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot even use certain gadgets like air conditioners. It's a challenge there. So it's a peculiar challenge
that I admit, and I think the energy minister and then the government will have to look at that challenge because it has not started today. Right. It has been there, it has been with us for a very long time. And so we need to make sure that we put measures in place and get a sustainable power for our brothers in the north. That one I agree. But as whether we are experiencing doomsday because of our mismanagement of the energy sector is another matter. And I'm saying that we have inherited something from our brothers, from the other administration, and that is affecting the first quarter of our administration, that is the NDC administration. And very soon, whatever measures we are putting in place, you will begin to see it. Maybe within 1 year, you begin to see it. And so what we are saying is that, yes, we know this is a burden we are putting on the people of Ghana. We know that we are putting pressure on them to pay additional tariffs or whatever it is that will affect their businesses. But they should just bear with us within the shortest possible time. As Labour did, all these things will be a thing of the past, or it must reduce to appreciable level.
Let's talk about Bawku, because Bawku is boiling again. I have seen a new imposition of curfew.
Sorry.
So now they've banned tricycles, they've banned the wearing of spokes in the Bindu area. We've seen the shooting to death of soldiers. We've seen the shooting to death of police officers. We've seen several attacks. We've seen destruction of property. Is it time to declare state of emergency?
Well, the issue of Bawku is a national security matter.
And I said it this morning, yes.
And we need to tackle it with that kind of sincerity and also urgency. Because I remember some 15, 20 years ago, this Bawku issue has been something. When I was teaching, I have one student in my class who didn't want to go back to Bawku because of this issue somewhere 20 years ago. And so it's something that has been with us. It's a perennial activity, a perennial national security issue that we need to tackle. I am from Ashiaman. I have a lot of the Kusasis and the Mamprusis in Ashiaman. And all these guys are very, peace-loving people. I don't see the need and the reason why this should be escalating back home. And to extend that, yesterday I heard 2 police officers were shot dead. Once again, police officers who were in Mufti. My good people of Bawku should know that you can only develop when there's peace. Without peace, there will not be any development. And if we want to embrace development, if we want to make sure that our community, the Bawku community develops, then all the youth must lay down their arms so that at the end of the day, you see, the IGP was there and he made a comment and people took him out of context. That is how I see it, out of context. You know, drastic actions demands drastic measures. Sure. When this particular insecurity has been with us for a very long time, and you have an IGP or you have a government who wants to solve it, nib it in the bud, they must bring out some drastic measures to solve it. So when the IGP said, lay down your tools, we'll consider you into the security services, or let's say the police service.
Is that a position of government as well? Is that a drastic
not at
measure
all.
Position of government?
Not at all.
Okay.
That's a government. That is a position of the IGP.
And by extension, the police administration, because
by extension, the police administration. But you see, he's just trying to appeal to their conscience. But
is that the way to go?
No, that is why I'm saying that drastic actions demand drastic measures.
Okay.
The thing is escalating. What do I do? You are thinking outside the box. What do I do? Because it has been there for a very long time. What do I do? Okay, let me try this option as well and see. But you see, people took him out of context. But it's because he wanted the problem to be solved. That is why probably he made those comments. And those comments are not to say that people who are not even qualified will be enlisted into the police service. I think he came back to explain his position very well. But the issue of Bawku, I have served in the Defense and Interior Committee for 9. This is my third term in serving in that committee. We try as much as possible to go to Bawku and resolve the issues there. But security intelligence will tell us that we dare not step foot there. And so it's something that we all need. We shouldn't make it political or partisan, so that at the end of the day, our brothers and sisters in Bawku will also experience peace and experience development. Because what is happening now, no developer, no investor will want to go to that area, because anytime they will have to go, they have to seek security intelligence before they enter into those areas. So I just want to say that whatever the problem is, I am not aware of. I may hear, but I don't know the nitty-gritties of the problem. We just have to eschew violence and promote peace, and that would be the ideal thing that can happen to Bawku.
Haina.
I have
be careful.
I have witnessed I have witnessed conflict before. I have been traumatized with the advent of conflict when I was very young. I don't wish anybody to be confronted with the issue of conflict. The issue in Bawku, it is something that is a long-standing issue that needs to be resolved. And I'm happy that the honorable member is talking about let's not be politicizing this matter. But he forgets to understand that the NDC is a great beneficiary of this particular area. That
How
is the
so?
You saw the results, the kind of commentaries that were made in the Bawku area, the kind of tagging that was made even against our flag bearer. Bawku is mixed. Even the member of parliament for the Bawku Central has the father, the mother. So
from both factions,
we need to be very careful. You don't jump in, promise them things that you cannot immediately do or that cannot happen. So when you do that and you get to power and you are not able to do it, it results into this. Look at the number of people who have died so far. These are people, a president could have come from them, a minister could have come from them, a very media tycoon could have come from them. These people have lost their lives. These are persons who have contributed to the economy. What I know is that Bawku issue must be resolved by all of us, not one person. This Bawku region has been soaked with blood. This region has had hundreds of people dying. This region has had children growing up to be dancing to the tune of GHOne because this has been in their ears, which is not good for all of us. This is a region that schools have been abandoned, businesses have been abandoned. Bawku was one of the centers that was providing hugely and contributing to the economy of Ghana.
It was a very
Today,
vibrant...
when you enter Bawku, knowing Bawku from those days, if you don't take time, tears will drop from your eyes. During the registration time, I was going to Pusiga and go to monitor the registration. I was trying to dodge Bawku town. All of a sudden, I saw that I was in Bawku town. Then I said, I was moving with the deputy national organizer. He said, oh, Prof, we are in Bawku already. I said, So, okay, then let's go to one of the registration centers. I was very sad. I was traumatized. Look, I came out of the car. I looked at Bawku. The movement of the people alone was very sudden because Bawku was so quiet. The town that everybody goes in, from Gushogu, from Yendi, from Bimbila, from Burkina, from all sectors, people go to Bawku. You need animals, you have to go to Bawku. You need grains, you have to go to Bawku. Today, you cannot get that from Bawku. It doesn't mean that Bawku cannot get back to its original state. Let's sit down around the table. Let's jaw. Let's resolve this matter among ourselves. We can't continue to be killing ourselves. Our security personnel are dying. Our military who are to defend our territorial borders are dying. The citizens within are dying. The chiefs on which we are fighting for are dying. The politicians that would have come and also help us, their houses are being burnt. What happens? We have to go and look for money again and relook at all these matters. For me, I believe that Bawku can get back to the Bawku we know. If you all join hands, let's take politics out. Let us do it dispassionately. Let's not be doing it and saying that, let's deceive these people in and let's do it together. It is about time. Let's put our differences away. Let's come together and resolve Bawku. It is about life and death. Look, there is no test in death. You don't die and come back. There is no reserve life that you will die, then when you come back, then you will take time. If we were to have that, even so, we even have to plan our lives.
Sure.
So please, we have people in Bawku that can help to turn the economy of Ghana around. We have people in Bawku who can help to develop this country. We have people in Bawku who can take this country to the next level. Let's not kill the generational leaders. Let us work towards to resolving the Bawku conflict. Honorable has mentioned about what I love this current IGP. I am very circumspect in commenting on him now because it's too early days, he has come to inherit matters. But what I would have to tell him is that he needs to be cautious of the statements that he makes in some of these particular conflict areas.
Right.
He may have the good intent to say what he said, but people will interpret it in different ways, which is also legitimate. Because if you say the key word there was priority, the key word in the 1992 Constitution is equal, not priority. And also, if you are talking to inmates, we understand. You are not talking to inmates. You are talking to people who are engaged in gunfire. Then you want to now say, per the statement, we want to turn the recruitment of people into police as a rehabilitation center, which is very dangerous. You understand the point I am making? So let's not let it look like recruiting people into the police service or the security agencies is a rehabilitation center. Misbehave, we'll put you in. Let's talk them out. Let them understand. No, you see, there are several meanings you have to put into things. That's why I'm saying that I don't want to comment so much, but I just want to caution.
Because I believe most of the youths there are unemployed.
Yeah, if they are unemployed.
Probably the devil finds job for the idle hands.
No, I understand perfectly.
He says that,
but you see,
I'm not sure he's trying to make the police service a rehab center.
That is what, because if you look at the statement,
so he's looking at the inference.
Yes, inference of it. It is very dangerous. It looks like it's okay recruiting them. All the police officers who are in there are not put in there for rehabilitation.
Not at all.
Okay, they end it. Most of them end it. Most of them has distinguished themselves. I know the IGP. The IGP is a superman when it comes to intelligence.
That's very
true. He has trained people that I know. who have unraveled a lot of security situations in the north. And they have performed so better. And I'm very proud that those people will stand and say that GHOne has actually helped them. And he himself should be proud of training people in the intelligence sector.
Sure.
But in commenting on matters, all of us, not just him, we have to be very careful. Look, one word from us here can put Bawku back on fire. So we have to be very careful in the statements that we make when we get the opportunity to sit on national televisions or even meet people. Our statements matter. It meant it destroys. So we have to be very careful.
Let's talk about DC or MMDA nominations or MMC nominations, where we've seen rejection of some of them. We've seen some of them resulting in chaos in Tema. I understand that some people are resisting the nomination of A.B. Bright as the mayor of Tema. In Okaikwe Central, some NDC persons said that if one Abdul Rashid Issa is not selected, they will reject any person that President Mahama nominates, because according to them, this particular Abdul Rashid is a grassroots person. In Talinsi, we also seen disruption of property because of these nominations. Must we get to this? I mean, after how many years after over 60 years of independence?
Well, since you are practicing democracy, you must expect all these things.
But to result in the destruction of property?
Well, that may also be there, actually. What we need to do is to prevent them, rather, because we are not all thinking the same way.
Sure.
And so, since it's a democracy, you begin to see these things playing out, though we always want to condemn it, but as practicing politics, you cannot do away with things like this. And DC nominations, for Greater Accra, for instance, the names are not out yet. Nominations are not done. So I don't see the need for people
to go on rampage.
What is the need? Your choice, you don't know who the person is as you speak. Tema Central, they are saying they don't want A.B. Bright. Yes, you don't know whether A.B. Bright will be nominated. And so you are preempting, you are playing on the intelligence of the committee that is choosing or that is interviewing the people. So with the mind that
on the minds of the committee, or they have intel. These are NDC members.
Yeah, so whether they have intel or not, it's just an intel. It's not substantiated.
Okay.
So you don't know whether the intel you picked up is genuine or not. And be that is me, even if it is genuine, what is wrong with it? Somebody who has contested 3 terms in your constituency, Tema Central, 3 terms since 2016. She should have been in parliament with me. 2015, 2016, we all contested together, and has taken the NDC party from, the scratch to losing. Let me put it in court, because they are still in court with 54 votes. And if they want such a person to be your mayor, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And don't forget, Greater Accra is mostly cosmopolitan settlers. So you cannot say this should be a gun before you can attend to your plight or whatever it is, or there should be, because we are in Greater Accra, it's necessary to be a gun. Not at all. It doesn't work like that, because about 80% of the votes in Greater Accra are from people outside, from the north and other areas. So yes, it's just unfortunate that people are on rampage. Okaikwe North, I heard same at this point in time, but as I said, it's a normal routine. In fact, it happened during the NPP time, where even a member of parliament was prevented from entering into the confirmation of the MCE, because they thought that was not his choice, so there was no need. He comes there in Ashanti region. So these things are issues that may always play out when matters of this nature comes. That is why some of us will always advocate that these MMDCEs should be elected. We also went through or go through this rigorous campaigning. Let them also go through the rigorous campaigning. Let them be voted for. When you are voted for and you win your election, I'm not sure anybody will be up in arms, saying that you don't deserve to be here, or you are from so and so.
Some have also argued that the MMDCs are the primary agents of development in these various areas.
Exactly so.
And so if they are elected, and I do not believe, if I'm elected on the ticket of the NPP, and I do not believe in the vision of His Excellency President Mahama, how then am I able to ensure adequate development? That's the argument.
So that is the argument of the NPP at that time. We are saying that yes, we want the election, but the election should be based on the political whatever. So if NDC is in power now, and you want to elect your MMDCE, so all the applicants to be elected should be people from the same party.
That defeats what the Constitution says, right?
Well, what did the Constitution say? We are trying to measure or to make sure that what you just alluded to is a thing of the past. Maybe when you go to, for instance, Volta region or Ashanti region, all the MMDC, if you want to elect them under this government, almost all of them may be MPP. Almost all of them may be MPP. If you go to Volta region, same will apply. Almost all of them may be NDC during MPP time. And how would they be able to propagate the philosophies and the programs of the governing party? And so if you are able to do it in a manner, you see, there are people who are qualified but may not find their way into the first three over there, because they thought they may not have any favoritism, or they don't have any godfatherism or godmotherism in the party for them to be there. And so they may not be able to do same. But when you do it in such a way that at least you have a vast number of people contesting the election and one is chosen, I think all these things will be a thing of the past. This up in arms, these people who are agitating may know that, well, these people were legitimately elected, and so therefore we just have to leave it as that. And I think President John Dramani Mahama has promised the election of MMDCs in the future. I was thinking that would have happened now, but because we need to put certain things in place before, and the government has to run as well, and so there was no way we could do it. But I know we are going to make sure we pass whatever it is, legislation that it is, that will make MMDC be elected in the future. We will do it anyhow. But
you are looking at on partisan lines.
Well, that is my opinion.
Okay.
And so whether that should be the issue going forward is another matter together. All the same, if we have to elect them on non-partisan line, fair enough. If we have to elect them on partisan line, fair enough. And so, but the underlying factor should be that MMDC should be elected, and they have to be elected. And when that is done, I'm sure it will curtail this rabble-rousing and talking about somebody not coming from the area.
Are you sure it will still curtail this?
Well, it will definitely curtail it, because we are all going for contest. It is open for you. If you know you are an indigene or whatever, you to pick a form, come and contest. When you are voted for, you win. That is it. But you see, when you vote for election always subdue chaos, because you know that you have gone through the process. After all, nobody has imposed that person on me. There's no imposition. And so therefore, we all are allowed to apply and to contest the election, and we all campaign people who
there's always a level of imposition.
I don't think so.
There is always a level
when it comes for
monetization
election,
is a level of imposition, because it is he who has what that is elected.
No, but you see, when it comes for, when I am talking in terms of the party, the party at maybe at the national level, imposing somebody that we want this person. Do you understand? We want this person to be the chief executive at this particular place. But when you talk of monetization, etc., which we are all kicking against, I am not the one who asks you not to get money to come and do same. We are all against the monetization.
So it means you spent a lot of money on your campaign.
No, not at all. But I'm just saying that.
But you didn't spend any money?
You said,
did you spend any money?
Because you made mention of monetization, which has effect of imposition. And I'm saying that monetization cannot be an imposition. Imposition may be reference to probably somebody saying that this is what I want.
This is our choice.
This is our choice, and no two ways about it. But when it comes to a level playing field, and you are supposed to come and do your needful,
so we should allow monetization.
Not at all. That's what I'm saying, which we are against. But because you made reference to it, and you link it to imposition, that is what I'm saying.
Some level of imposition.
So I don't think that should be a level of imposition, definitely. Because yes, monetization, we are all kicking against it in our body politics, which is not good, because most of the time monetization also bring about people that we probably may not be doing the bidding or may not be capable, but because they have the money to come and do whatever it is, they are there. But
was it a challenge for you? I mean, since you raised it, was it a challenge for you because you were in opposition? Did you have to spend your last cent on the last election?
Well, because I was endeared to the people, I was with them almost all the time. I didn't need to spend much money to win them. Money. Well, you cannot say you in politics you will not spend money. Yeah, I spent some money, but not equivalent to what others in government spend. You understand? Because in my constituency, like for instance, I have almost 360
delegates,
branches. Multiply by 9.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Over 3,500. How much can I give to anybody? You must work hard on the ground for the people to love you and vote for you. So
it was the love.
It was a laugh. It was a laugh for the people. Yes, it was a laugh for the people and for myself. That brought me to power for 3 terms. It's not easy. You understand? Ashama, it's not easy.
Anyway, Herna.
Thank you. I believe that, as you said, monetization plays a role in imposition. In your explanation, you saw that because of money, the wrong person can be chosen. And when the wrong person is chosen, it's monetization. It's because of the monetization, which has been imposed on you. Because the person has it, he comes, he bulldozes his way and got to where he is. This is a matter that is constitutional birth, and the right is set with the president to appoint. It is the right of the president to appoint whoever he deems can't help to deliver on his promises. I would take the opportunity to call on the people. When your time is not up,
it's not up,
you might not be appointed.
That's it.
My former boss last told me that, Haruna, when you are being appointed, you are not in the room. You will never be in the room when you are appointed. So you need to be careful when your time is up. Your behavior, your works, your attitude, your dedication will contribute to that. In most of the times, it is not the best person that has always been appointed, but it is the person that is ripe for that time that has been appointed.
So the person who has got the eye of the appointing authority.
Yes, that is how it is. There was an issue that happened in my own constituency, Zapzugu.
Okay.
And I saw that there were so many reportage on it, and that the demonstrators against the president appointment killed a pregnant woman. And I want to put it in the right perspective. In fact, the demonstrators they were not the people responsible from the information that I got. The demonstration was happening in town. That is Zapzugu town. But the killing happened at the outskirts with gunfire.
Okay.
So the demonstrators were not holding guns. So they could not be inside town and also be outside town to kill somebody. So that was purely a criminal matter that people should handle that aspect.
Okay.
But the reportage of the people in Zabzugu demonstrating and killing a pregnant woman, for me, as an MPP, I can't say, because they are NDC, I should twist it, and I have done my own investigations, and this is the report I am getting.
That is the true picture.
My people are very peace-loving people. We would like to get development from our place. Once the president has appointed, I'll take the opportunity to congratulate the person that has been appointed and to ask my people that we need development in Zabzugu. Let's allow and give the opportunity when it's our time. We'll also be appointed and given the opportunity to deliver on the promises of the government of the day. But you see, in whichever way, whether MMDCEs are elected or appointed or done what, there's always a strategy. For example, the one you are proposing, if an NDC persons, or they have been put up, 3 of them, if I am sitting behind and I'm a politician, I want to also get to you, we will team up and go and elect the weakest among them to govern. He cannot perform. So there are so many ways to go about it. Whichever way. For me, I believe in electing the MMDCEs on non-partisan basis. So that at least anybody, whether it's an MPP or it's an NDC, he goes in. If he wins, like we said, if MPP people are elected as DCEs or MMDCEs in Ashanti region, and they have a clear guideline by the constitution to perform, I believe that they will be able to perform. The power of appointing and disappointing them too can also be so much frustrating at some point in time. So let's look at it as a nation collectively and get a straightforward deck, because we have come for it and you people went against it. And we could not get it done.
Was not good.
You see, which one is the good thing? Because you have not been able to also table the matters in perspective. You are now in government. Let us have this particular discussion. I believe that let's get ahead and elect MMDCEs rather than president appointing them, and that will call for a constitutional amendment to the president having the appointing authority.
Let's talk about Operation Feed Ghana. The president launched it, and the president said this is akin to what we experienced in the 1970s. That's Operation Feed Yourself. He mentioned this even prior to the 2024 election, that is something that the NDC was particularly going to do. I mean, for Ghana, that is a highly import-driven economy. Some analysts say this will give a boost to local production, especially. Haruna, do you think this is the panacea to boosting local production and by extension feeding Ghana?
Well, for me, I've always believed in depending on what is produced in Ghana. The MPP's tradition that you have always heard people say property owning democracy, property owning democracy. It is not about grabbing property. It's about giving leverage and supporting the private sector. And that is why in President Kufuor's words, he says that the private sector is the engine of growth. So what you do is that you need to support the private sector to be able to contribute to the growth of our economy. And that is what we have always worked on. So if you see the policy interventions of the MPP, you look at the agri sector, we have the Planting for Food and Jobs. And then you look at the introduction of the then National Youth Employment Program, now the Youth Employment Agency. You also look at the agri mechanization centers that we have been able to put across. I personally sitting here, I'm a farmer. As a politician, I'm a farmer. I have over 300 acres. I have other equipment that I work with, and I always believe that the most essential thing for us to do is that we should be able to feed our people. If you cast your mind back to the days of Achampong, or the one who did the Yentuya system and had to feed our people, the rice mills centers across the northern sector was so phenomenal. And we as the Gombes, what we believe is that if you are able to feed yourself, that is where you are able to stand and say whatever you want. So we need to be able to get these things. I don't know the nitty-gritties of what they have launched. I don't know the scope. NS will help us I don't know the scope on which is going to go. This is something that has just come on the drawing board. We need to get to understand exactly what it is. We have to also try as much as possible to move away from putting things on drawing board without necessarily getting it onto the ground. Let's get things that is going to affect the people of Ghana positively. We as MPP will watch and see how this particular policy is going to, and we'll come back and report to the good people of Ghana the impact. We always have what we call the input, process, output, outcomes. We want the outcomes to be good.
The NPP gave us planting for food and jobs, yet food importation, rice, legumes was on the high.
But there are other areas that food importations too were low. You cannot achieve everything entirely, but some certain level of achievement was also gotten through that particular aspect. Farmers were being supported and what have you. If you are even going to look at some of these things, some of the cost centers in farming is as a result of the attitude of some farmers, and that is how it goes up. But whatever be the case, the positives of the planting for food and jobs much outweighs the negatives that it comes with.
Are you able to give me some of the positives, a few positives?
If you look at the number of people that had gone into agriculture within the space of the planting for food and jobs, as compared to the number of farmers previously, we had increase in the number of farmers. When you look at...
Did it culminate into increase in local production?
Yes, sure. Because of, if you look at the number of warehouses that we have now, and the plan that was put in terms of storage of food going into the school feeding program and other government agencies to be able to support shortage of food access, you see that there's much more number of warehouses that are built because we want to have this food that is being stored. And then when we look at job creation, we have what we call the direct job, the indirect job creations. So in this particular scenario, for example, I have 2 farm managers. Under the 2 farm managers, I have operators. So you look at the number of jobs that is being created within the sector because of the advent of the planting for food and jobs. So jobs have come, food too has also come. People also getting fertilizers at a lower cost because of the planting for food and job was also another thing. The planting for food and job too was also something that was coming in to support the people to get some number of acreages of land that they are being supported with government intervention in terms of land preparation, the land tillage, the chemical application, the seed, and what have you. All these things were things that are supported the farming activities, which had increased the number of farmers and increased the production level in terms of what we do. So you don't only go to farm for subsistency, you also go to farm to make sure that you are able to export or you are able to eat and leave some that can also support food strategies in the future. So these are some of the positives that came with the planting for food and jobs, and I believe that when we are able to enhance on it, is going to help better for the good people of Ghana, not just one political party.
Anis, President Mahama, during his speech, mentioned that it is imperative that we revive school farms and even encouraged homes to start home gardens. But I am wondering, are we then looking at other areas outside Accra? Because in Accra, I mean, Greater Accra, you can attest to it, how many homes today can start home gardening?
Well, you see, this...
Even the farmlands, we have sold all the farmlands to real estate owners.
Yes, this Feed Ghana is just a replica of Operation Feed Yourself.
Okay.
And probably our brothers planting for food and jobs. Which did not happen, which did not materialize, who did not bring...
Oh, but he is giving us...
Oh, yes, that is his opinion. That is his project. So he can't say it didn't work.
Okay.
He has to at least put some spices on it, which did not work. And you rightly said that even though there was plenty for food and jobs, we were still importing foods. Now, I'm just hoping and praying that this NDC government and President John Dramani's government should learn from what happened during the planting for food and jobs that did not materialize, and we have to build upon it and bring out some other innovative measures to make sure ours work. We are not going to promise one village, one dam in any case for irrigation, but when you listen to President John Mahama, he said we are going to study the climate, the climatic change. I mean, during the
climatic conditions
during the famine or whatever season, which will be more beneficial to us. We are going to also make sure there are certain irrigations at certain areas that we deem it fit, that it will help produce more. And when you talk of Greater Accra, yes, we know Greater Accra is just about it's just a microcosm of Ghana. You may not have backyard gardens, etc., in lands in Greater Accra, but elsewhere in the hinterlands, all the other 15 regions, you may have enough. Even Greater Accra, some areas are that areas, you have enough lands to cultivate. So other areas, like the other regions, the 15 remaining regions, you can have this kind of backyard garden, which President John Dramani Mahama said, the school farming, those days when we were in the village, we were schooling in the village, we go to farm, we have a farmland. I mean, even the prisoners can be made. You know, Burkina Faso, now a prisoner will have to go to farm for 1 month, and I think 3 months or 2 months of your prison terms is waived off. And which will also go a long way to bring more production and bring more produce to the country, and will reduce importation. This Nkuko, Nkitikiti, etc. They are also dovetail into the Feed Ghana project, because you know how much we import. I mean, chicken we import poultry from outside. It's that huge.
Billions,
so this Nkuko, Nkitikiti will also dovetail into Feed Ghana project. And so I am just happy that we are bringing back the school farm, we are bringing back the backyard gardens, and we are going to also provide the implements and also the fertilizers, etc., to these farmers to be able to do what the government wants us to achieve, so that it will reduce the importation of food, rice, poultry, etc., sugar, and so forth. And we can also take care of ourselves. It will help at the long run. And you know, the balance of payment, when you are importing much, you are spending more dollars outside, and it's affecting the economy. What I'm envisaging is that we should rather make sure that whatever program we put in place, whether it is for the schools, it is for the backyard garden, every Ghanaian should own it. It shouldn't be a political, or it shouldn't be NDC matter. It should be a nationalistic or holistic approach. We should have that kind of holistic approach, that every Ghanaian, we have to feed our own selves, not to feed your brother or feed any other person. But when you are able to feed yourself, and each and every one of us is feeding ourselves, making sure we are backyard garden, etc., feeding ourselves, even the schools, because of the free SHS, if you have your own farm, that you have corn planted and etc., you'll be able to feed yourself for a number of days, and that will reduce the burden on the government. So it's a laudable idea which we must push, and push it hard, but we just have to learn from the previous government that what they did, we don't do the same, and we achieve the goal and whatever we wanted to achieve for.
Okay, gentlemen. Thank you very much. You have a rebuttal?
Lily, I'm surprised. He said, because it was our policy, I have to put a sunshine on it. So does it mean that because it is their policy, that is why he's also putting sunshine, divide of nationalistic view?
We have not started yet.
You see, when it comes to farming, the larger population of Ghana are farmers. I come from a farming community, and I was giving birth because of farming. Because my father had gone to do farming activities, my grandparents, all of them, I was giving birth within those particular periods. And I believe that we have to look at it holistically. You don't say because there's nobody can tell me that planting for food and jobs did not increase productivity. Nobody can tell me that planting for food and jobs did not create jobs. Nobody can tell me that planting for food
how
and
many jobs did it create, increase. If you can give me data.
You see,
or it's not something you have at the moment.
Because it is not a matter that we are discussing.
Okay.
But you see, such jobs, like I said, direct and indirect, they are seasonal jobs which are not fixed. And then nobody can also tell me that there has not been increase in income for farmers. If you are farming 10 acres, because of that you have been given opportunity, you are able to do 20 acres, you are doing 1 acre, you are doing 5 acres, in that order. So there has been great impact. We need to learn to build upon, rather than to say that because it was not my policy, it did not achieve anything. When you do that, it affects the base data. Every governance system has a base data. So when you do that, it affects the base data. Let's try as much as possible to build upon. We have over-politicized things in this country that has affected people with the technological know-how, technocrats, that affects the growth of our country. So we need to be very mindful in some of these particular things. For me, I don't wish the NDC bad. I don't wish. Just that we don't believe in the person leading, whether the person will be able to implement what he wants. Because I know that President Mahama wrote in his own book, My First Coup d'etat. He said in the book that as a young man riding bicycle down the lane, he could not take a decision on his own. And when he became the president in the first term, because he could not take a decision on his own, he appointed 3 wise men. He went out of power. He is back. And we still believe. And that's why we always say it is that.
But how many young people are able to take decisions on their own? How many young people?
Many. Many. When you are young, your level of thinking...
But is it wrong for any young person not to be able to take decisions on their own?
No, the point is that there are issues that you deal with inwardly. But you don't come out and say you are not able to take... You did not specify the decision. You didn't classify the decision. That you cannot take decision on your own. It means that every decision is taken for you. And when he became a very full-grown adult, became an assemblyman, became an MP, became a deputy minister, became a minister, became a vice president, and became a president, he actually went through that rigorous process to appoint 3 wise men to advise him. So today he has come back. We still believe it is still Dadana. And that is why Dumso has visited us. That is why he is still holding on to straws. That is why there has not been any policy direction. That is why the 24-hour economy is still on the drawing board. And that is why Ghanaians don't have that belief. I believe that this country needs to move forward. And I believe that we can contribute together to get it done, but certainly not under President Mahama.
Okay.
You see, it appears.
I'll let you have that bite, but I need to take a quick break here, and then when I come back, you have that bite, then I can wrap up the breakfast with you. Anyway, you're welcome back to the show. This is still Jay today here on GHOne TV. Still the breakfast with you. My guests are still seated. Ernest Nogbe is Member of Parliament for Ashaiman, and Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Haruna made his point about the Feed Ghana program, and Ernest, you have a rebuttal.
Well, I just wanted to say that my brothers from the other side have started the propaganda too early. They have started the propaganda too early.
Really?
3 months into government. And when you look at all the achievements of President John Dramani Mahama, and you cannot say it's Dadana. I'm sure that is why they are finding their feet to be relevant in the social media and the print media, etc. By pushing their ranking members to make unguarded comments in the public space, because they want to just tarnish the image of the government. They want to make the government unpopular. They want to tarnish the nation. I mean, to downplay the integrity of the country. You see, that is why I'm saying that 3 months into election, into government, you need to give the government and the president a space to operate. And for these 3 months, I'm saying that he has delivered on some and most of the promises he has promised the good people of Ghana. So when you say that it's the same President Mahama that we are experiencing, I beg to differ on that. Because for your 8 years in government, Ghanaians saw what you did. The 8 years. And now even NDC is not buying food for anybody. President Mahama is not putting money in anybody's pocket. But there's peace and tranquility in the country. Everybody is at peace. As if heaven has come down to earth. Even though there's nothing that the NDC is putting, or let's say money NDC is putting in anybody's pocket. Everybody is happy. Otherwise, when their ranking member alleged that there was cocaine, etc., you heard a comment from outside. You heard a comment from those who are not politicians, because they realized that no. Don't forget, there was a goodwill with this government from 2024 till now. And so if you don't know the timing very well, you want to do propaganda about it, you will be found wanting. Ghanaians will not forgive you, because they are seeing the light. They are seeing that President Mahama is delivering. President Mahama will deliver. And from how he has started, somebody will say he will appoint 60 ministers, and 3 months down the line, he has appointed 57. And they are working creditably. All these ministers are working creditably, as against somebody who appointed 126 ministers.
Is President Mahama in a fix to appoint the 3 more?
Not at all. Not at all. He wants to show Ghanaians, President Mahama wants to show Ghanaians that you can even rule with 50 ministers, you can rule with 56 ministers, and you can rule with a minimum number of ministers as compared to previous arrangement. And so he's not in a fix at all. He is the appointing authority. He can decide what to do at any given point in time. And so he can never be in a fix. But rather, he wants to show Ghanaians that these arrangements must be changed. And if he promised 60 ministers, he can work for a number of period, for a number of time with even 56, and they will still deliver. And as we speak now, the 56 are delivering. These 56 include even regional ministers, and they are all delivering. And so my brothers from the other side should know that President John Mahama of yesteryears probably may not be the same President John Dramani Mahama now. And because he will want to leave a legacy for Ghanaians, and he will want to make a mark, so that at the end of the day, Ghana will chart a new course, and will move to a different direction as compared to the 8 years in tyranny.
Lily.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. My brother shouldn't have even veered into these areas. He's talking about President Akufo-Addo having a huge number of ministers, and they having a less number. The presidency of Dr. Bawumia would have given you a 50 ministers. The target he has given himself, he said 60. He has not been able to finish that. And that one, timelines were put on it. And let me tell you, Ghanaians were not against the huge number of ministers. The Ghanaians were against the expenditure.
Why if you don't have huge number, how can you spend?
But let me explain to you. Calculations and check your always all the budgets. It has always been appendices for
that's it.
And when you check your own. And remember, even in the first 3 months, 68 million Ghana cedis was appropriated to you for the 3 good months. You now have 2.7 billion Ghana cedis for Office of Government Machinery alone. That affects the small number you are talking about. And then the huge number we are talking about is 326 million Ghana cedis. So Ghanaians are watching. It's not about the number, but it's about the expenditure. That is what is affecting the good people of Ghana. And secondly, he's talking about our very good reverend. The very good reverend on 1st April raised 3 matters. 3 matters. One is the national security raid on the 12 containers containing gold and cash at Sapema. The second issue he raised was the Air Med flight and the Kavok Air private jet transporting suspected things. And we have the right to suspicion.
But once you say suspect,
so I'm coming. I didn't.
The statement was explicit on the things that were suspected.
Yeah, so I don't want to, because it's not a topic for us to discuss.
Yeah.
I just want to summarily, because he has brought up that matter, and I need to set the record straight.
Okay.
Because he's a man of God, he's a man of integrity, a man that believes in Ghana's forward march. And he talked about the reported pirate attacks. These were the 3 matters that were said. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, with good intent, said that they should collaborate with Reverend Otumfuo to investigate. Do you get it? That there should be a committee in that particular for investigation.
He never says so.
He said it should be investigated.
It should be investigated.
Yeah, so if it is going to be investigated, who are the people going to do it? So a committee should have been set up to align with what the president has said. Not long after the president has given a directive, who runs an executive presidency, the authority or power of state rests in the hands of the president. He says that there should be collaboration, not intimidation. Then the government communication comes out to already give findings from it and to dismiss it outrightly. And in the dismissal, they did not touch on the pirate and they did not touch on the Sapema. We needed to put sunshine on those two. They went straight onto the Kavok and the Air Met data and said that this is false. And when he was questioned that this matter needed to, he said that it doesn't need to be investigated. That they just want to show Reverend Otumfuo and use him as an example. Do you believe that when such a matter is said, and the president of the land has said there should be investigation and collaboration with me, and somebody from the government who communicates for government comes to say, it means that there's a predetermined solution to it, which is that government should cover it up, government should defend it, because the government posture was more defensive. That has degenerated to this matter to where it is.
Okay.
Other than that, this was not going to be escalated to where it is. You see, you shouldn't have brought it. I am telling you on authority that this matter that Reverend Otumfuo is holding, let us hold it as a national issue and handle it very carefully, and rather decide
are you aware of any evidence adduced to the security agencies as we speak?
Evidence production within the space of media is different from evidence production within the space of the law court. So you don't expect to, do you want him to bring,
this is a national not in the media, but I'm asking.
Yes.
I'm asking whether the evidence, the intelligence he talked about that he gathered has been provided the various security agencies.
The point is that he gathered his own intelligence, and then he was prepared, and the president gave a directive. Then government communication comes to dismiss that. Do you think that trust is key? So there's an element of distrust. So he then wrote to put his case out there, he should have provided evidence to the security agencies, and then come out, because the first instance was to the media. He first reported it to the media even before going to the security agencies. Yes. No, the first press conference didn't. He just provided the information.
Exactly. And so he spoke to the media about the suspicion before going to the security agencies.
Lily,
so if you've given the evidence to the security agencies and they failed to act on it, then you come back to us, the media, and tell us that, well, I have provided my evidence.
He asked for, after the dismissal by Phyllis Kwachi, and then the comments that were made by Sami Jemfi, indirectly shows that they were not ready. There was something under that they want to cover. Then he wrote and requested for a joint briefing in Parliament. That one was also shut down by the majority. Then you ask yourself, I'm not here to ask questions, but I'll ask the questions. If it is false, you fast check me. The 350 million cocaine saga that was busted, did it happen or not? Yes, it did. The 150 cocaine saga that happened, that 150 in Cape Coast, did it happen in Takrae, the western region? Did it happen or not? Yes, it did. The people who were busted, the people who were arrested, are they before the law courts? There's no prosecution. Nothing is happening. Then the cocaine that has been busted, where is it? Have we been given briefings on that? We commended the security agency for busting all these things. We live in a country where cocaine.
But have we ever had the national security or the NIB, for that matter, ever hold press conferences or press releases on issues of national security?
We are not saying they should hold press conference. There has always been briefings. Why is it that the presidency was very quick? The president communication or government communication were quick when even the president wanted investigation to come and defend. Government information out there was contrived, and we did not believe them. So Reverend Tim Fojo is seeking for different avenues to make his case.
And but the burden of proof lies on him,
and that is why he will prove, because he need to have the confidence. You need to have the confidence. What didn't the NDC said? 2 precedents have been made. 2 MPs were made to be investigated right at the precinct of Parliament. What has changed? He's not an MP or he's an assemblyman. He's an MP. He is not just an MP, a ranking member on Defense and Interior. He must be given that particular accorded respect.
That should mean that he has direct access to the Minister of Interior, to the Minister of Defense, to the National Security apparatus. Exactly. Shouldn't that be the case?
But the good questions that we should be asking ourselves is that cocaine saga has happened in this country before.
Sure.
In 2014, the Nayeli, very big. Cocaine
we also saw the MV Benjamin.
Yeah, the MV Benjamin. The cassava issue, right? Or is it Konkonte?
The Konkonte.
People who were part of that particular, who have been accused, are serving in this government today. Okay? The vanishing. People who have been accused in those particular instances are serving in this government today. Do we expect the 350?
Those people were discharged.
I am saying they were accused. I didn't say. I use my words very carefully. Okay. I'm not a lawyer, but I use my words carefully. People who were accused in that particular process are serving in government today. Okay? Do we expect the 350 to vanish? Do we expect the 150 to vanish? Don't we need briefing? Why are the people not prosecuted? Why is government not addressing this matter? So you don't want the security to come and address those matters.
It is not enough to say that I have arrested somebody and I am still investigating.
So tell us you are investigating.
And I'm taking them to court. There's a process.
Yes, so tell us. Let's be brief.
Okay.
Look, Ghanaians voted for the NDC because they said that, what they wrote on their listing, they said resetting agenda and then transparency and whatever. They need to be transparent. Transparency is very key.
The Attorney General has given us moments of transparency.
The Attorney General has always, since he has started, has been prosecuting his cases in the public court of opinion instead of the court system. So he has come, he has been able to acquaint people. So which case is he prosecuting now? People who were put before court for a number of years. It is for him to go and gather. That is why people are being paid with the taxpayers' money to gather. The NIB, they are doing fantastic work. They are doing investigations. The CID, they are doing investigations. We have relevant security institutions who are doing investigations. They are doing fantastically well. There are very few ones that you think you can have questionable issues on them. It is not that all of them that lives in there are just acting on the whims and caprices of politicians. We have good people in there. Let's allow the state to work. And let's give appropriate briefings that will inure to the benefit of the people of Ghana, not to attack the personalities. When you begin to attack the person will begin to defend.
Right.
And that is why the Constitution has given us right that you can defend yourself. So when you begin to suspect and there's an element of mistrust, you can keep evidence to your chest and deliver them on the appropriate time.
Okay.
You see, this is not a matter that is on the table for us to discuss. But you see, as I told you, I have served on this Defense and Interior Committee for 3 terms. This is my 3rd term on serving on this committee. Our modus operandi is different when it comes to security matters. We have access to all these security agencies. We have access to the minister. We have access to, the National Security Coordinator and everybody. So matters of this nature, you realize that in the previous 8 years, you will never hear us talking in the media of matters that borders on national security. For instance, the piracy and then this allegation of air ambulance bringing cocaine and then money laundering to the country. You will never hear us talking about it. Now you said you pick intelligence. You have your own intelligence. The moment you say you have your own intelligence, it's no longer a suspicion. Intelligence is becoming an evidence. You have a fact of the matter. President Mahama is saying that collaborate with the security agencies and then provide your evidence. What we must note here is that states are hiding behind the situation that because a minister of state came out to say so and so. So where are the evidence? You cannot go to the media, speak to the media on national security issues. I have 2 strong committees that I serve on: intelligence, national security and intelligence. It's also a committee now. Okay. And defense and interior committee. So you cannot go out to speak to the media, after which you write to your leader, to your chairman of the committee, that they should have a brief. Did you write to him? Did you even consult him at the first place before going on the media public? You did not. And you see, I have been saying that my brother Otumfuo is doing, I don't know whether he's been asked to perform or to do what he's doing. Because other than that, even the minority, they have a former minister for
defense,
former deputy minister for defense on that particular committee. And we also have former deputy minister for national security, Brian Champo, on that committee. I am even surprised at the first place that somebody from the educational sector, who is always in the media, who wants to do the propaganda in the media about educational activities or whatever it is made a ranking member. Whilst we have a former deputy minister of defense, we have a former minister of national security. That is why we are seeing all these things. Because if you don't know our modus operandi, you may not be able to do what we do there. You don't see us in the media. And I'm saying that
as the ranking on
security architecture and things that you cannot even substantiate at the first place. You understand me? Yeah. And so that is why we are saying that the Reverend Otumfuo goofed at the first place. He shouldn't have gone on that tangent at the first place. He should have remained calm. Steady how we operate. Because I have said on another platform, this is not the first time this thing has happened. He did one, and we admonished him at a committee meeting that we don't go by that. We don't go like that. We don't just talk to the media. Because you don't see the national security or even a NIB or BNI or whoever it is holding press conferences on matters that borders on national security. If you say cocaine was busted or Sapema issue and investigations are underway, why do you have to jump to the media? The national security will not do that to come and give you briefing. They will at least conclude their investigations and then come out, probably charge whoever is responsible. If investigations are not concluded and you are coming out, probably you are interfering in the investigation, and whoever is culpable may know your modus operandi, may know your whatever it is to hide behind it. And so they don't do that. You don't see them holding press conferences or saying things in the public. You don't even see them in the public. That is how we operate as we speak now. Now you have come out and we are saying that bring your evidence. And you are hiding behind Felix Kwachi that because he has made this statement. Look, let me tell you something. Most of the minority members in parliament, they were not happy. No. They were not happy with what he did. So you will see that it took them almost 2 weeks or a week and after before they came supporting him. Some deliberations went behind the scene that we cannot leave him alone. And most of the guys, we speak with them. We are all colleagues. We speak with them before they came supporting him on those tangents. I saw on social media where one of them was saying that, oh, he did not brief us, he did not tell us anything. So what are we going to talk about? What are we going to say about? The man was playing a low ranger. You see, he wanted to imitate Honorable Okujeto Ablakwa.
I have seen your party folks
but you know
talk about that a lot.
But you know something? In Okujeto's issue, he will definitely have the facts, and he will give you the itinerary of, even if it is maybe traveling of the president or whatever, he will give you everything. He has all the facts at his disposal before he will come out to speak to it. So if you want to imitate somebody, study the person's trajectory. How does the person operate? Whether the person, you don't just go propaganda and making unnecessary comments in social media or maybe in the media. For what reason? If you want to be a media person, I would have wished they change him on that committee as a ranking member, because otherwise it will not go. It will not be in the favor of the committee. If he goes on this tangent, it will never be in favor of the committee.
Really, there's no qualification to be on the committee. In fact, if you will recall, Dr. Yakubu was a staunch agriculturist, the then Myong MP. He was made a deputy minister of agric. One Fifi Kuti, who did not have anything in agric, was made an agric minister.
And he performed.
So I'm telling you that it's not about you having the related job that you should be given.
That is agriculture. We are talking of security here.
In the past.
We are talking of security here.
But you know the person who was the ranking member of Defense and Security. Who? Kennedy Ohina Japan.
Yes.
Was he an interior minister before?
Very good. But you see, that is my point here. Kennedy Ohina Japan was a vocal person in the media. As soon as they gave...
For more than 2 weeks... Even your government communication, no, they were quiet. Nobody was talking to it. I am telling your authority that the members of parliament, you know, parliament is on recess, right? Yeah, so sure. You expected that, like you said, somebody said he didn't brief them, right?
But why did he write letter to the majority to come and then
the point here? Briefing. But parliament can always be called back.
So same can apply.
I said parliament can always be called back.
Yes.
And I have sat in a meeting with all the minority MPs, the mighty 88, and they have been appropriately briefed on this matter.
Okay.
I sat on behalf of the General Secretary.
When was this?
I am telling you that there is a briefing.
When was
and
this?
All members of parliament. I am telling you
but are you able to tell me when this was?
And
was
also,
it a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
was done by the minority the caucus on
interior.
He was not alone. The press conference was done before they left for Rock City. Okay, so you can't say that it is him. Whatever the committee does.
When was this supposed briefing given? Was it a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
I am giving you the...
No, but since you've told my viewers, I'm sure everybody out there...
2 weeks ago. Immediately the press conference was done.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, some briefings were done.
Okay.
Briefings were done. I participated in the briefing. I'm a Muslim. I've just fasted and finished. I cannot lie to you. Briefings were done.
And facts were adduced.
All
evidence were adduced.
Which evidence? The point is, look, you see, matters are different. When you are talking about travel arrangement, didn't he give you the flight
itinerary?
Yeah, itinerary. He did. It's not every information that goes out. This is a matter of security.
Right.
Oh, he knows.
This is a matter of security.
He knows.
And there is time of which evidence are adduced. You don't just come and put evidence out there. You don't know what he's doing.
Okay,
and I believe that the president directive, it is in good senses, and I believe that getting a commission of inquiry to get this done will be much.
Nobody will form a commission.
Trust has been breached. Trust has been breached.
Okay,
because
thank you very much, gentlemen. Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, and NS Nogbe is a Member of Parliament for the good people of Ashaiman. That's it for the breakfast review. I take a break here. When I return, I have some good news for you. Policy, or you can walk into any of our branches nationwide. Be a lucky winner today. You never know, you can be walking away with that 10,000 cedis. Star Assurance says we are your solid partner. Please note the terms and conditions do apply. Let's do some celebrations now. out there, if you're celebrating your birthday, we say happy birthday to you. If you're marking any significant milestone, we say congratulations to you. My name is Lily Mohammed. Thank you very much on behalf of the entire team, camera, sound, lighting, the production, producers, the directors, and everybody. We thank you very much. Have a great day. I'll catch you at 11:30 a.m.
GHOne OV van has been one of the best vans I've used personally in this country. It runs a system where we are able to run on Dante to be able to do our broadcast mixed well also from this van.
I've used this OB van for quite a number of big productions, i.e. 3 music awards, the late President Rollis' state funeral, Emmys Africa Awards, and a number of them.
My experience with the GHOne van has been the state of the art equipment they have. Personal experience is you can use it for both indoor and outdoor, all events, conferencing, like anything you need a van to work for you, GHOne provides it.
My experience with the van has been very good. Why? Because it has a number of facilities that I may not get in other vans. You know, the van has a very wide bench that can accommodate all my technical crew, ICC, switcher, graphics, CG, and all of that. And then it also has a studio, a green room studio that comes with TriCaster. So if you want somebody to do commentary on a live event, you can put that presenter who's in that studio as well and get that running.
To give an experience to our audience, we're also watching on TVs and online. Work with an Exo technology system, which makes your video mixing with Panasonic cameras, like a lot of other stuff in terms of content you need to get also for your live broadcasts.
I prefer the GHOne van to a lot of other vans I've used, or even doing my own setup on a tabletop setup, because